she said. I deserve better than you. While holding my debit card in one hand and her phone in the other, like I was the damn intern in her life. That line didn't hit right away, it landed slow, like a delayed bruise. At the time, I just stared at the receipt she dropped on the counter, $147.32 on makeup, takeout, and something labeled Chakra Cleanse. We had $210 left to last the week. I didn't say anything. Not then. Just logged in later, transferred everything else to my separate account, and changed the password. That was the beginning. Not the argument. Not the tears that followed. Just that quiet, factual moment when I realized I wasn't her partner. I was her backup plan. We'd been together 6 years. Married for 3. I met her when I was working nights at the warehouse. She was bartending. Said she liked how calm I was. Said I made her feel grounded. What that really meant was I absorbed chaos without flinching. I thought that made me strong. Turns out, it just made me available. She'd had a rough past. Trauma, bad relationships, that kind of thing. I thought loving her through it would heal her. That if I kept being stable, she'd eventually stop looking for the next emergency. But emergencies were her ecosystem. If nothing was broken, she'd break it just to feel something. The first year was decent. She'd say things like, I can't believe someone like you loves someone like me. And I'd feel needed. Important. But over time, that tune changed. I became predictable. Then, boring. She started saying things like, You're lucky I haven't left yet. I wish I'd believed her. Our daughter was born 2 years in. That's when things got real. I picked up side work. Uber shifts, pressure washing on weekends, whatever kept the fridge full. She stayed home, to bond, with the baby. In reality, she slept till 10, scrolled TikTok, and complained about being overwhelmed. I'd come home from a 12-hour shift and still end up doing laundry. When I brought it up, gently, she flipped it. Said I was attacking her. Said I didn't appreciate the emotional labor of motherhood. I didn't even know what that meant at the time, but it shut me down. That's how she worked. Drop a big phrase, weaponize some half-digested blog post, then dare me to challenge it without looking like a misogynist. I stopped bringing things up. I thought avoiding arguments would protect the kid. That she'd grow up thinking her parents were peaceful. But kids notice. She noticed. She saw me clench my jaw at the dinner table. She saw me sleep on the couch. Because Dad snores too loud. She heard her mom say I was a loser, under her breath more than once. The last year got worse. She stopped pretending to like me at all. Criticized how I walked, how I chewed, how I breathed. Started texting during dinner, laughing at memes while I helped our daughter with her spelling. She'd spend all day working on her business, which just meant taking selfies and claiming she was building her brand. No income. No clients. Just hashtags. She started saying things like, I settled for you. And, if I had time to focus, I'd be famous. One night she said, I deserve better than this. Better than you. That time it landed. Because I finally agreed. I waited. I planned. Not out of revenge, but survival. I met with a lawyer. Quietly. Collected receipts. Screenshots. Built a timeline. I wasn't about to walk into court empty-handed while she cried on command. The day I told her I was done, she laughed. Said, You'll never get custody. Said, No judge will give our daughter to a man who works nights and doesn't even have a degree. I didn't argue. I just handed her a folder with bank statements, childcare records, and proof that she hadn't been the primary parent in over a year. She didn't laugh after that. Court was hell. She cried, lied, brought up old texts out of context. Claimed I was emotionally abusive. Said I restricted her freedom by asking her to help with bills. But facts are louder than tears. And my lawyer? Pitbull. Calm. Clinical. I got primary custody. She got weekends, supervised at first, because she'd skipped too many pickups and showed up high once. That broke her image. Suddenly, people stopped siding with her. Mutuals went quiet. Her mom, who'd always backed her, called me privately and apologized. Said, "I didn't know it was that bad." I didn't say, "You should have." I just said, "Now you do." She spiraled. Burned through her savings, then her friends. Ended up in a motel out by the interstate. Started doing DoorDash to cover gas and food. Said she was hustling. Still made Instagram posts like she was thriving. #rise and grind while her kids slept at my place on clean sheets, with lunch packed and books read. She texted sometimes. Said she missed our daughter. That she was working on herself. I said when the work showed, the time would follow. Boundaries. Clear ones? Once she asked if we could talk like adults over coffee. I said no. I wasn't a rehab center for women who figured out too late that stability isn't weakness. That was the last time I responded. It's been 18 months. My daughter's doing better. Sleeps through the night. Smiles more. Doesn't flinch when the door slams. I take her to school, to the park, to the dentist. I comb her hair every morning even though she complains. That's the job. The real one. People ask how I'm doing. I say, better than before. Not because I'm healed or some enlightened dude now, but because the noise is gone. I know what's mine to carry and what's not. She's still at the motel. Still posting quotes about cutting off negative energy. Still blaming everyone but herself. Some new guy moved in with her a few weeks ago. Same pattern. He'll learn. And me? I get up early. I make my daughter's lunch. I punch in. I punch out. I keep my place clean. I pay my bills. I laugh with the guys at work. I sleep hard. That's peace. Do I miss her? No. I miss who I thought she was sometimes. But that person never existed. That was projection, mine, not hers. I thought I could love someone into becoming stable. I thought loyalty meant staying through anything. I know better now. I've got a new rule. If someone tells you they deserve better than you, let them go find it. Watch what they do with it. Turns out, most people who say that aren't chasing better, they're running from their own reflection. And sometimes, the best thing you can do? Let them run. I used to think the hardest part would be the custody fight, the motel phase, the lies she told about me in court. It wasn't. That was just the storm. The hard part was what came after, the silence, the day in day out. The kind of quiet that forces you to face how much of your energy used to go into surviving someone else's mess. After the judge handed down full custody, things got still. I remember walking into my apartment that night, our daughter asleep on my shoulder, and looking around like I didn't recognize the place. Not because it had changed, but because I had. For the first time in years, I wasn't bracing for the next fight. No emotional tripwire in the kitchen. No fake crying in the bathroom. Just 2 plates in the sink and peace. She tried rebranding herself, again. Life coach. This time. Started charging for healing sessions through Zoom. I found out because someone sent me a clip from her Facebook Live. She was talking about toxic masculinity and how her ex abandoned her during her awakening. I didn't respond. I've learned the difference between defending your name and smearing yourself in the process. She calls our daughter once a week now, sometimes. Usually during a break between deliveries. She keeps the conversation surface level. Asks what she ate, what she wore. Never about school or friends. Never about the nightmares she used to have after visits. Just fluff. I monitor the calls. Not because I'm controlling. Because I'm her father. And I've seen what unchecked chaos does to a child. She tried once to guilt me into giving her more time. Said our daughter was forgetting her. I said she needed to stop worrying about memory and start building consistency. You can't lose what you never invested in. She hung up. Same pattern. Guilt, shame, silence. I didn't call back. My daughters asked questions. Why doesn't Mommy live with us? Why doesn't she pick me up? I don't sugarcoat, but I don't poison either. I tell her, Mom's figuring things out. But I'm here. Always. And I am. Every pickup. Every project. Every scraped knee. I got a promotion. Night foreman. Good pay, better hours. Still manual work, but I don't mind. It's honest. The kind of tired that lets you sleep. Not like back then, when I'd lie awake for hours wondering if I was doing enough, being enough, holding it together enough for someone who was already halfway out the door. The women I've dated since haven't lasted long. Not because I'm bitter. Because I don't ignore red flags anymore. I don't chase potential. I don't negotiate with entitlement. I know what peace costs. And I'm not bartering it for momentary attention. I've reconnected with friends. The ones she pushed away. The guys who used to tell me, "You sure she's treating you right?" And I'd make excuses for her. They never said, "I told you so." Just handed me a beer and said, "Glad you're back." That kind of loyalty sticks. I still remember the night she left for good. No fight. No drama. Just packed a duffel while I was at work, left a note that said, "I need to find myself." She wasn't gone for more than 10 hours before texting for gas money. I didn't send it. Not because I wanted her to suffer. Because it wasn't mine to give anymore. Letting someone fall is sometimes the kindest thing you can do. Otherwise, they'll drag you down with them and blame you for the fall. Last I heard, she was in another state. Still DoorDashing. Still chasing some dream that doesn't require showing up. Still telling anyone who'll listen that her ex stole her daughter. Funny how courts don't usually hand kids over to the abuser. Huh. But I don't waste breath trying to convince people. I used to. I used to beg folks to see what was really going on. Now I let reality speak. And it always does, eventually. Our daughter's 9 now. Kind. Smart. Loves art. Hates peas. She draws little comics about Super Dad, who makes pancakes and always finds the missing sock. I save everyone. Because no matter how much she forgets about that motel, that chaos, that woman who only shows up when convenient, she'll remember who stayed. And me? I'm not angry anymore. Just done. Done excusing dysfunction. Done fixing what someone keeps breaking. Done mistaking survival for love. Some nights, after she's asleep, I sit on the couch with the lights low, and I just breathe. That's it. No background noise. No walking on eggshells. No hoping someone else changes. Just me. The man she said wasn't enough. Turns out, I was too much for her to handle. And just enough for a life worth living. She showed up unannounced on a Thursday. I was home early from work, union job now, better benefits, steady hours. The front gate buzzed while I was folding laundry. Thought it was a package. Instead, it was her voice through the intercom, clear as it ever was. It's me. No name. Just that. 15 years since she left. 7 since she last saw our daughter in person. 3 since her last text. She didn't even try calling first, just showed up. I didn't buzz her in. I went down myself. She was thinner. Harder. Eyes too wide. Mouth tight like she was holding a story in her teeth. She still had the same attitude, like reality was optional if she didn't like it. "I'm clean now," she said. That was her opener. Not hi. Not how's our daughter. Just a declaration. I've been working on myself. I didn't say anything. I'd learned silence does more than speeches. She kept going. "I've got a job. Real one. I work mornings at a clinic." She paused. "I'm not here to start trouble." I asked her what she wanted. "To see her," she said. "Just one conversation." I looked her dead in the face. "She's 16. You think she doesn't remember? She was just a kid." "She remembers." She flinched. First honest reaction I'd seen from her in years. She told me she doesn't hate you, I added. But she doesn't trust you. There's a difference. Her eyes watered. Nothing dropped. Old trick. I'm not blocking you from her, I said. She has a phone. She has your number. She doesn't use it. That's her choice. You earned that. She looked past me toward the upstairs window. Maybe she thought she'd see a little girl. But my daughter's almost grown now. Part-time job. Art school applications. Deadlift record in gym class. She's her own person. And she's not looking for a mom. I thought maybe we could all go to dinner or something. I raised my eyebrows. You mean pretend nothing happened? I mean maybe start new. I shook my head. There's no new without owning the old. That stopped her. She shuffled. Picked at her sleeve. You always were good at making me feel small. No, I said, quiet. You just don't like hearing things you can't twist. That's when she got mad. Eyes narrowed. Shoulders squared. There she was, the woman I used to sleep beside, argue with, survive. She deserves to hear my side. She heard it already. Every time you didn't call. Every time you promised something and ghosted. That was your side. She started to cry. Finally. But it wasn't about my daughter. It was about her. It always was. Her pain. Her story. Her audience. I used to sit front row. Not anymore. You can send her a letter, I said. I'll make sure she sees it. After that, it's up to her. You don't get to skip the line just because you're ready now. She sniffed, wiped her nose on her sleeve. She's lucky she had you. I didn't say thanks. Just nodded once. Then I turned and walked back up the stairs. I watched from the kitchen window. She stood there for maybe a minute, then left. No door slam. No screaming. Just faded into the sidewalk. That night I told my daughter. She didn't react much. Just asked, did she look tired? I nodded. She always did. We didn't talk about it again. She went back to studying. I went back to the dishes. Life kept moving. Somewhere in a drawer, there's a letter she eventually sent. Long handwritten. Mostly about herself. My daughter read it. Didn't cry. Didn't rage. Just said, I'm good. And she is. Me? I still keep my distance. Not out of spite, out of design. You don't invite termites back into a rebuilt house. I still have bad dreams sometimes. Not about her, but about me back then. The man who tolerated too much and called it love. I forgive him. But I won't be him again. There's a peace you earn by walking through hell and never setting up camp. I earned mine. She didn't. And when people ask me what happened to her now, I tell them the truth. She made choices. Then I go back to my life. The real one. The one I built after she left.